Well, with temperatures falling below zero, there are things you can do to make sure you stay safe. The National Weather Service recommends adjusting your schedule to avoid being outdoors during this extreme cold. And be sure to dress for the weather, even if you don't think you'll be outdoors for long. You could be at risk if you don't prepare for the cold.
When we have these really cold wind chills, you can get frostbite or hypothermia in a short amount of time. So I would say really limit your amount of time outdoors and stay in a warm, dry area.
Of course, it's also recommended to check the weather before you go, and you can always do that by using the First Alert Weather app. Just type in News 8000 First Alert Weather in your app store. The extreme cold can also create problems for your car, but there are some things you can do to keep running through these sub-zero temperatures. A good rule of thumb is to keep your fuel tank at least halfway full. This prevents condensation buildup, which could freeze your gas lines. Another good tip, make sure you run your vehicle daily to keep the battery charged. One local mechanic says the #1 thing you can do, though, is to stay up to date with those oil changes and other general maintenance.
If your car isn't maintained, there's a good greater possibility it isn't going to start.
Don says his team has been working around the clock since this cold snap started. Turning now to the latest in the COVID-19 pandemic. There is just one new death from the virus in Wisconsin. There is also a little more than 500 new cases in the state. Wisconsin's one-day vaccination total is well below the 7-day average. The state's Department of Health Service has reported a similar dip in vaccination rates on previous Sundays, though. A green arrow means cases or the number of vaccine doses given is trending in a positive direction. A red arrow means the number is trending in a negative direction against the 7-day average. A UW La Crosse student is using his skills to make sense of COVID-19 data. UWL junior Jacob McAllister recently launched a web page to organize and display data about the virus. The page gives a visualization of age ranges and cause of death. McAllister says while there are plenty of sites that are tracking this information, how the information is displayed can be confusing.
They weren't showing the granularity that I wanted to see with them and just kind of the questions that I personally had. So I thought, well, I know the tools that I want to use. I have the ability to do this, so let's do it.
We do have a link to that webpage on our website, news8000.com.